Deep in northern Iraq's mountains lies one of humanity's oldest religious communities, the Yazidis. Part of Iraq's pre-Islamic heritage, this distinct ethno-religious minority of around 500,000 people has preserved their ancient beliefs for over 4,000 years through tradition. The Yazidis worship one supreme being while revering 7 angels, chief among them the peacock angel, Malik Tus. The sacred center is Lalish. The ancestral homeland in Sinjar witnessed catastrophic violence in 2014 when ISIS militants launched a systematic campaign targeting the community. Over 6,000 Yazidi women and children were enslaved, while thousands of men faced mass execution. The United Nations would later classify these atrocities as genocide. Today, nearly half of the 300,000 Yazidis who fled remain displaced, their village destroyed and their families separated. Yet through immense hardship, this minority group maintain their customs, their identity, and their determination to ensure that their culture survives for future generations.
As part of setting up their caliphate, ISIS stormed into the Sinjar region of Iraq, where many of the Yazidis lived at the beginning of August 2014. Thousands were killed in the initial attack.
مال عالمنا يعني بالأخير جوانا مجرد ساحة حرب بس عالمنا هو مالنا.
Yazidi families are reuniting after being torn apart by the ISIS invasion. The moments show their strength and hope despite the hardship that they have faced. Many children lacked protection and became vulnerable to exploitation. The absence of proper safeguards left them exposed. Local smugglers have become popular in helping them reconnect young Yazidi girls with their families, showcasing the tough decision-making needed in desperate times. This underscores the need for better protection and support for Yazidi girls who are trafficked by ISIS and the measures needed to bring these young children home.
Abdullah started to help other Yazidis in a similar position.
I decided to switch my work from transporting agricultural supplies using the same contacts to transporting men and women instead.
Abdullah can only buy these Yazidi families back from IS with the help of an international network of smugglers in Syria, Turkey and Iraq. So coordinating when families should cross from one border to the next without getting caught is crucial. You know that all this money is going to IS.
I know, but most of this money goes to smugglers, and only a small fraction goes to IS. It's the only way to free these women.
Abdullah says he has now rescued hundreds of Yazidis seen in these pictures. Even then, this is a dangerous and violent business that can go wrong.
Sometimes at the meeting point, IS come and decapitate the women. The babies and children with them collapse with fear when they see it. Some of our contacts inside have been killed for helping us as well.
Today, around 200,000 Yazidis live in displacement camps. They wish to return to Sinjar. However, significant reconstruction of schools, hospitals, infrastructure is needed to rebuild their community. While there have been attempts by the Iraqi government to encourage returns, including financial incentives, the conditions aren't yet suitable for a safe and sustainable return. Another pressing issue is the situation in the Al-Hol camp in northeastern Syria. Here, many Yazidi survivors find themselves in a state of limbo. Despite escaping the clutches of ISIS, they are now detained indefinitely with limited access to basic necessities and freedoms. Elena Casimeh introduces the concept of the ideal refugee, highlighting how societal and political biases favor certain refugee groups over others. Unfortunately, the Yazidis often don't fit this idealized image, leading to less international attention and support. These biases have significantly shaped the perception and the treatment of Yazidi refugees, especially those residing in places like the Al-Hol camp, alongside ISIS supporters. Historically, these attitudes haven't shifted much, even during the height of the ISIS siege and its aftermath. The Yazidis continue to feel marginalised and overlooked, compounding their suffering and hindering their path to recovery. Another critical issue is the lateral violence experienced by Yazidi women who were impregnated by ISIS fighters. Faced with the immense societal and religious pressure, many felt compelled to give up their children. According to Yazidi beliefs, children born out of marriage aren't considered part of the community. These women are often given an impossible choice by ISIS, leaving their existing children behind or remaining captive forever. The mental health consequences of such trauma are profound. The women grapple with the guilt, shame, and isolation, leading to the societal fragmentation within their communities. Lateral violence exacerbates these issues, as survivors many face stigma or rejection from those around them. Based on the power and control wheel, coercion and the use of threat forces Yazidi women into servitude and forced marriages, with violence and harm used to ensure compliance. Male privilege reinforces traditional roles, treating women as inferior and limiting their autonomy. Intimidation through public shaming and threat destroys their confidence. Isolation in refugee camps cuts them off from education and support, and their trauma is often denied or blamed on them, directly demoralizing Yazidi women. One inspiring example is the work of the Ammar Foundation, which is dedicated to preserving the Yazidi culture through music. By nurturing traditional songs and teaching them to younger generations, they ensure that their rich heritage isn't lost. Music becomes a powerful tool for healing, empowerment, and cultural preservation. While global attention has highlighted the Yazidi community's suffering, the coverage has often framed them as helpless, focusing on their displacement, vulnerability, and the horrors of genocide and trafficking. This narrative, though important, has overshadowed the resilience and strength of the Yazidi people in rebuilding their community, advocating for justice, and preserving their cultural identity. Despite immense challenges, the Yazidis are actively working to rebuild their homes in Sinjar. They are initiating projects to reconstruct schools, hospitals, and infrastructure, laying the foundation for thriving communities once again. These efforts aren't just about restoring buildings, but about reviving the spirit and identity of their homeland. Yet the pain of the past lingers. Many Yazidis are still missing, and families continue to search for their loved ones. Commemoration events are held to honour those lost and to keep their memories alive. These tributes serve as a powerful reminder of their history and the importance of preserving their heritage for future generations. The International Criminal Court, or ICC, could be an avenue for prosecution, but since Iraq hasn't signed its founding treaty, the ICC can't press charges. Instead, a small number of trials are taking place in European countries that have universal jurisdiction laws for certain crimes. The resilience of the Yazidi people is a testament to their strength. They've shown that even in the face of unimaginable adversity, hope and determination can prevail. By focusing on empowerment, cultural preservation, and community rebuilding, they're rewriting a new chapter in their history, one defined not by victimhood, but by courage and perseverance.